never imagined I would become the kind of person who plans in silence while someone I love betrays me. But betrayal has a way of awakening a part of yourself you didn't know existed, a calculated, patient, and vengeful part. My wife, Sarah, had been distant for months. At first, I told myself it was stress from work, the monotony of life, or her own personal struggles. But the signs were undeniable. Late-night calls, sudden hushes when I entered the room, and that subtle smirk she would hide behind her hand when texting. I tried to convince myself that I was overreacting, that maybe I was reading too much into things. But intuition is often sharper than reason. One evening, I found her phone unlocked on the counter. It was a mistake, yes, but it revealed a truth I wasn't prepared for. She had been planning a secret date. Not a casual coffee meetup, but a meticulously arranged evening with someone else. My heart sank as the words on her screen revealed details she thought I would never know: time, place, even what she planned to wear. I felt anger, of course, but more than that, a dark thrill coursed through me. I realized I had a chance to teach her a lesson she would never forget. I could confront her, yell, and humiliate her, but that would be impulsive. I needed something far more deliberate, something psychological, a surprise that would make her realize the consequences of her choices. That evening, she left the house dressed in her most confident outfit, smiling at her reflection, unaware that I was fully aware of her plan. I watched her go, heart pounding, not with fear, but with determination. Then I approached her bedroom, moving quietly, every step deliberate. Under her bed, I planted a small digital recorder, one capable of capturing everything in high-quality audio. It was inconspicuous, hidden under the dust ruffle, but it would capture every word, every laugh, every whisper of betrayal she had so carefully planned. I didn't stop there. I prepared a few additional surprises. I left a tiny envelope in her bag, a cryptic note with the words, "Some truths are best heard before they happen." It wasn't a threat, it was a warning. And finally, I set up a live playback on my laptop in the living room so I could listen as she embarked on her secret date without her knowledge. Hours passed slowly. I stayed in the shadows, listening to the sound of her footsteps leaving the house, feeling a mixture of rage, fear, and satisfaction. When she reached her rendezvous, the recorder captured every detail. Her laughter, casual flirtations, whispered confessions, it all came alive in a way that text messages could never convey. I replayed snippets at home, watching her absence with cold precision. And then, I waited for her return. When she finally came back, she was radiant, proud, and unaware of the silent witness hidden under her bed. She tossed her keys on the counter, humming softly. I called her into the living room. "Sarah, sit down," I said calmly. Her eyes narrowed and she tilted her head. "What is this about?" I didn't answer immediately. Instead, I opened my laptop and pressed play. The room filled with the sound of her own voice, laughter mingling with another man's words, flirtations she had thought were secret. Her face drained of color. She tried to speak, to deny it, but the audio spoke louder than any lie she could conjure. "Do you understand?" I asked quietly, leaning forward. "This is your own voice, your own actions. Every word. And it's undeniable." Tears welled in her eyes. I can explain," she stammered, desperation creeping into her voice, but I stayed silent. Silence is the heaviest punishment. The realization that her betrayal was witnessed, recorded, and carefully revealed without my raising my voice hit her harder than any confrontation could. She begged, pleaded, and even tried to cry, but I could see it in her eyes. She finally understood the depth of what she had done. Over the next few days, I didn't confront her again. Instead, I let the psychological weight sink in. I observed how she moved around the house, hesitant, cautious, burdened by the knowledge that her secrets were no longer hers alone. Even when she tried to act normal, the tension was palpable. She had learned the cost of deceit, and I had taught it without a single raised voice, without a single public humiliation. Weeks turned into months. Sarah changed in subtle ways. She became more careful, more sincere, more aware of the consequences of her actions. I, too, changed. I realized that revenge isn't about anger or cruelty. It's about reclaiming control, dignity, and ensuring that betrayal is met with consequence, even if it's silent and unseen by the world. Now, sometimes I replay the memory of that night in my mind. The surprise under her bed wasn't violent or destructive, but it was perfect in its subtlety. It was the ultimate confrontation, one that left a permanent imprint on both of us. I am no longer filled with rage, but with a sense of satisfaction, a quiet knowledge that I taught her a lesson she will carry for the rest of her life. Betrayal awakens something inside you. A fire, a clarity, and a determination that is as terrifying as it is precise. And sometimes the best revenge isn't about inflicting pain, it's about making someone face the truth of their own choices in a way they cannot ignore. I planted a surprise under my wife's bed. And when the night ended, she knew, fully and completely, what it meant to cross me.